Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. Now you might be wondering, it says Final Fantasy III on the screen, why am I saying Final Fantasy VI? Well, anyone who's played Final Fantasy game probably knows the history, which I'm not really going to get into. You can go to a video by the Angry Video Game Nerd, I think he explains all that, and that's a little loud, so we're going to have to turn that down. We're going to have to work on our balance here, figure out what works best. I'm playing this on... Well, let's just say that I'm playing this live, so what it means, basically, is that I'm pointing the camera at my screen. So, I wish I could say I had something original here, but I don't. I just wanted to indulge in this tremendously amazing game, because, I don't know, there is something about this game, and I haven't played it in a really long time. And, you know what? I forgot to start my timer, so we're going to have to start now. If you listen really closely, the music is pretty amazing here. I guess we might as well just get into this, because we're not going to... You know, I don't think I actually ever put in my control commands right, so... Did I? Wait, okay. I know I didn't, so I'm gonna have to stop. I do believe this is the... I mean, I know it shows this introduction in the demo anyway, and then it shows it again when you actually start the game. Now, I haven't figured out yet if I've actually started the game, so I'm just gonna watch this and see if it eventually starts letting me control what's going on, and then we can go from there. I'm assuming that most of you who are watching this at least already know the story. I don't see why someone would watch... Well, I don't know. I've watched LPs of games I've never played, yeah. But this game in particular is just one of those games that if you haven't played it, you need to stop whatever you're doing right now and find yourself a copy. Go to the nearest pawn shop, get yourself a Super Nintendo, and get Final Fantasy III, which is actually Final Fantasy VI. Okay. Alright, why am I not advancing the dive? This thing is not under my control. Why is this not responding? I don't believe this. So this is still the demo introduction. Maybe it doesn't let you advance the dialogue in this part, but I could have sworn it does. So I don't know what's going on here, why it's not responding to my... I'm pushing the buttons, you know? Trying to advance the dialogue. Oh, this is good. This is going real good so far, let me tell you. I'm probably going to record this in 30-second segments, and then upload them in 3 separate 10-minute videos. Which means that there's not going to be, like every third episode I'll say goodbye and have a nice day or whatever, but the first 2 of each 3 parts is not going to have an ending. It's just going to end abruptly, and you're just going to go to the next video. So that's how that's going to work. And, okay, it's moving into the story here. This is good. I want to try to skip past this part. Okay, it's skipping. Alright, I do have control. I think. Let's put her on point. No sense taking any risks. Forward! I forget which button does what in here. Okay, we're moving. Alright. So basically what you got here is this girl is in control of Magitech armor, and she doesn't know what she's doing. And you're just thrust right into battle right away. So you kind of are left to your own devices to figure out how these things work. But it's not really any different than any normal Final Fantasy game. You just input your commands and kablooey, you just watch what happens. I think I turned the sound up a little bit there. You know, to be honest, I always thought that the fanfare after you win a battle was better in Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy II in the US than it was in this one, because it's in the same key as the battle music, so it actually feels like the battle that you were fighting, you won. But when you win a battle in this one and the music plays, it's like some battle winning down the street. There's something psychological about it. Now we have some Lobos here. Los Lobos, you might say. But they're not singing La Bamba for us, so I guess we're going to have to kick their asses. Obviously, they're weak to fire, so that's a good thing, but we're probably going to kill them in one hit anyway, whether they're weak to it or not, because these Magitech armors, what they're trying to tell you here is that these things are extremely powerful. And you're controlling them, so it's good to have such wonderful power on your side, but when you discover later in the game who's behind this and why these things, you know, they're not meant for the greater good, even though they may be fun to play with. So let's play around with some other stuff here. We have a tech missile, which is only the girl can use the tech missile for whatever reason. And you can see it does a lot more damage. Da -da -da -da. They do have better drums in this one, though. Hup, hup, hup. I keep wanting to push B, okay. Eventually I'm going to have to get to editing out battles and stuff, but I'm not going to do any of these for now because since we're just starting out here, it's not old yet, so, you know. Pincer Attack, every now and then you'll start getting attacked from surrounded like this, and you'll have to work your way out of it. The trick to this is, like, or at least in my experience anyway, if an enemy hits you from behind, and the damage is either doubled or increased by a factor of 1.5. I forget which one it is. But it's not a good situation to be in, especially if you got, you know, really powerful monsters on both sides of you. A little question mark girl gained in level there. I don't know what that's all about. So how are we doing so far? We're up to 7 minutes. We've gone pretty far here. I'm kind of a reckless player when it comes to Final Fantasy. I'm not nearly as tactical as most people. I tend to kind of rush through it because, you know, especially these days as I get older, I realize I don't have as much time as I used to. Right now I'm going to defend with these guys, and I'm going to have her use her Bio Blaster. Just to give you a look at some of these other weapons here. For the most part, you won't be using these Magitech things very much in the game, so you don't have to worry about trying too hard to remember what you're doing here because, well, for one thing, you know, you could play this blindfolded and just about ace this part with no problem. As we get up further into the mines, we're looking for an Esper that supposedly was found here. The Empire's trying to exploit the power of the Espers, and you'll find out more about that as the story progresses. Oh, guess what? We have random battles. First real random battles that are kind of unexpected, unplanned. The other ones were just preset in certain locations when you walked onto a certain spot. But now, it's pretty much like any other Final Fantasy game. You're going to start to get them randomly. You just never know when they're going to strike. Now, I haven't been paying attention to my HP. I'm just about dead here. You think I take care of my women better than that, let me tell you. I mean, normally in real life, I would never tolerate that, let that happen. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but, well, you know, maybe we should wait for another... Well, you know what we could do? We could just go into the sub-screen and have the girl use her magic. Let's heal everybody up, save us some time here. So having said that, we're going to go ahead and just thrust headlong into the boss battle that's coming up here. At least it looks like a boss battle, probably, judging by the size of that entrance. Kaboom! It's very strange that the guys are called Vix and Wedge. I guess it was some kind of translation thing, because they're supposed to be Biggs and Wedge, based on the Star Wars characters, but maybe it's like that thing with Aerith in Final Fantasy VII. You know how some people spell it Aerith, A-E-R-I-T-H? This is one thing you never got to see in Final Fantasy IV, was dialogue in the middle of battles. I mean, well, you did, but it wasn't this smooth, you know, you didn't see characters jumping around all over the screen. There's a scene in particular later on, where, the girl uses her magic, and Edgar acts all surprised. He's like, what the heck was that? And it just goes on for like 2 minutes, but it's the funniest scene. Here you gotta be careful, because eventually this guy will retreat into his shell. You gotta keep your timing just right. Oh crap.